I can't follow it that fast. landing.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Shut off some of that jet noise. Oh, we got quite a crowd here. I guess you guys like to watch the model jets while you're waiting. So That's a good thing. I don't have any idea how the audio from that came out. So if one of you guys wouldn't mind, tell me if you could actually hear the audio from the model jets that I was playing, because the way with StreamYards and OBS and all the sound routing and patching and everything else you have to do to get audio properly out, I came up with a really convoluted backdoor way of doing it, and I don't know how well it worked or not. I can't monitor it here because I can only hear what the system's putting out. So how's everybody tonight? Rick Halber, how you doing? Chris Hope, Peter Carroll, hiya Peter. Drone Life RC, how are you? And it says we got 12 in the house. Papa Joe W, hello everybody. Peter says you could hear it okay. That particular video was one that I made of a jet meet that we had up in Waycross, Georgia a number of years ago, called Jets Over the Swamp. And I ended up doing so much, working the camera and taking so many pictures, I didn't get to fly all that much. But I ended up making a pretty good video out of it. And it goes on for about, the whole video is about an hour long, and from morning until night. And then at the end of the video, there's some night flying with LED lights in the airplanes. And this is back in the day when LED lights were unique, and you didn't normally see them on model airplanes or anything like that. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Tomas, how you doing? Tomas O'Sullivan is here. Glad to see you. And I did send out some emails with some invitations. I don't see them piled up in the green room yet, as usual. For my live streams, I don't seem to be a big rush to get in, but come on in and join me in the chat. If I don't have your email on my email list, feel free to drop me an email at oldguyandadrone. The address is in the description of the video at gmail.com, and put your email address, or just type your email address in the chat if you're not shy about that, and I'll send you a link. You can come in here and chat with us and be part of the show. So we've all settled back down again after the hurricane had 3 or 4 days of nice weather, and now we got another tropical disturbance over the Bahamas, which we're not worried about. Not going to bring anything with potential catastrophe, but it appears that we're going to have tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday a bunch of wind and rain. So not conducive to flying. We had some events scheduled at the Model Airplane Club, but they were canceled because of the weather. So it looks like if it gets all wet again this weekend, it'll be a while before it all dries out. I went out there the other morning, and it was a little damp, but I did get a couple of flights in. I went out there loaded for bear. I had I don't know, 3 or 4 drones and a whole bunch of batteries, and went out there about 8 o'clock in the morning and flew a few flights and talked to a few of the guys. And about 9:30, my phone rings, and I had some work I had to do that was important and had to get done. So that was the end of that. Packed up and came home. But at least I did get a couple of flights. Chris says we're needing some rain. Really, it's been that dry out there. You know, we had was it 1989? When was it? I think it was like 1989 down here. We had half the state was on fire because it was in June. It was at the end of June, but we hadn't had any rain for months. And then the wildfires started, and it was really something. Yeah, they actually had most of the interstates closed. You couldn't go from one town to another. everything was just smoky, and it lasted for about a month. Uh, I had my boat docked over in Daytona Beach at the time, and the smoke was so bad over there that I went about 100 miles south and found a slip in a marine and moved the boat down there until the fires were gone. But that was terrible. I hope you don't have any of that over there in Texas, Chris. Chris, did you get an email? Did anybody get an email from me? Did my emails even go out? Let me know if you don't mind. Don't see anything. I guess we got a 10-second delay here on this on the stream. So anyway, the title and the subject of tonight's I did, but I'm not home as usual. Oh man, when I did that stream on the Tuesday night, right after the hurricane passed her. Yeah, it was Tuesday night, I think. I started at like 9 o'clock, and I had a much bigger turnout, and it might be a better time. Now I can't do it 9 o'clock on Thursday night because I'd be smack in the middle of Ken Herron's show, and I don't want to do that for two reasons. Nobody will be watching me, but I also enjoy watching watching Ken's show. So I don't know. I'll maybe look at another night, but I'm beginning to think that this particular time at 6 o'clock is not the greatest because everybody's coming and going from work or going away to dinner or something else, and maybe I need to just come on at 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, the Gary, Brand Aerials, how you doing? Good to see you. The subject that I said that I wanted to talk about tonight was the DJI FPV stuff, because although I've been fighting the urge to do that for since they first came out, I don't know, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I didn't, and that's maybe the first time that I've been able to actually hold off that long on something new that I thought was cool, and I tried to figure out why I didn't jump on it right away, and I think there was a lot of unknowns about it. And of course, I had just gotten in FPV and bought a whole bunch of stuff and drones and cameras and VTXs and built a bunch of stuff and already had a nice little investment going in the analog side of it. So I tried to convince myself over the past month that it was no good. I didn't need it. I didn't like DJI, blah, blah, blah. And I managed to talk myself out of it. But then a lot of videos came out about the FPV system, and by and large, the feedback on it has been good. Once we got past the initial group of YouTube videos that were all put out by the chosen ones, and I say chosen ones because they were the bigger players that got this stuff months before it was even a rumor, and did a pretty good job of keeping it under wraps. After he said he couldn't come, he's here. Gary,
Rich,
how are you?
you're good. You can hear me?
Yeah, hear you. Great.
Okay, great. Yeah, I've got about 20 minutes. I'm heading out, so I just
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't want to leave you hanging there all by yourself, you know?
Some guys enjoy. I I stopped in and said hi to Crowley this morning. You know, he does that thing where and he'll, you know, people sit there for hours by themselves, just kind of talking to people in the chat, but they seem to get the chat going more than I do. My chats are usually basically just everybody saying hello to everybody else.
Yeah, true that.
Not really too much, and then what happens is I get going on something and get busy not and end up not reading the chats. So
Well,
anyway,
it's
what I
probably
was
good to have a sidekick chat now and again. You know, like Thomas O'Sullivan just said, "Hi, Gary, how's things?" And I like Thomas, everything's great. Chris Hope is on there, and yeah, so we're doing good.
At any rate, you remember a couple when the DJI stuff first came out, I kind of poo-pooed it on the live stream there for a couple weeks ago. I'm trying to convince myself more than anything else that I didn't need to spend the money on it, because, you know, I've bought everything DJI came out with up until the Osmo Pocket, and and that was the last thing I bought from DJI, and I ended up returning that and getting a Hero 7 instead. And then DJI came out with the Osmo Action, and I said I don't need that. And I hadn't bought anything from DJI, and I bought a lot of stuff from DJI, the drones and the Crystal Sky and the goggles, and you know a bunch of stuff. And usually bought it the day it was announced. Probably because I was afraid they, you know, sell out and you wouldn't be able to get it. But I learned pretty quick that you could always get it. But I like I said, I'd made that big investment in all this other stuff, all this analog stuff, and I said, wow. And there were some things about, and there still are some things about the DJI system that isn't quite fully baked yet, and one of the things is the integration with the flight controller to display the beta flight, the on-screen display, all that information that you can display on an analog thing does not translate to the DJI screen. The only bit of telemetry information that you can actually display now is the battery voltage, which is probably the most important piece of information you need. But if you have GPS, you're not going to get any of that information. If current sensing, you're not going to get any of that information. You're not going to get the timer. Well, I guess the DJI goggles have their own timer built in, but.
Well, Mitch, it would be like driving a car with a gas gauge and no speedometer.
Yeah.
You just don't know how fast you're going or which way.
Yeah. But officer, I only have a gas gauge.
I heard something today. A guy's wife had an accident, and she said the other guy was talking on the phone and drinking a beer. And the cop says he can do anything in his living room he wants.
Oh, man. Anyway, so what I was saying was that the first reviews that came out were mostly from guys who had a vested interest in selling this stuff. Now, not that any of these guys are going to prostitute themselves, because they're, you know, but I'm talking about guys like the Rotor Riot guys. They got this thing early, and the big time reviewers got it early and had it for I would say a month or two before, while we were all talking about the fact that it was, you know, we're all cheering about the fact that they think it showed up in the FCC database and blah blah blah, and all these, you know, the typical DJI sleuthing type of rumors, you know. And then this guy says this, the other guy says no. It's like the Mini, like that Mavic Mini thing, you know. That everybody rumors, and here's a picture of it. and they really kept it a secret because the next day after all those rumors, this thing hit and all these videos started showing up about the thing. And I first looked at it and saw that it was a complete system, complete with DJI activation required and all that other stuff. And I said, not for me. Then I found out you don't need to use the DJI transmitter. You can use your own radio systems that you already been using, and just use this as just the video feed to your goggles and the recorder. I said, well, okay. Then I found out that there's no internet connection, which means there's no fly zones. There's no there's no spying on everything that happens. Your flights don't get logged by them, in their database like all the flights with the Mavics do. Where, when, how long, how high, none of that stuff. So I said, well, okay, that's better. That's because it doesn't use a cell phone anywhere in the thing. It's basically just a airplane to goggles connection. There's the outside whatsoever. That's more like it.
FPV. They don't make a controller at all.
They do. They make
controller.
They make the controller. Looks like
Okay.
looks like a regular RC transmitter, like not a full size controller, not the little one like the Mavics.
Okay.
And the controller actually works through the same radio link as the video feed.
Okay.
So when you use their transmitter, you don't need to have any other radio receiver in the quad or anything, or any other antennas. You got the two antennas from the DJI box, and that covers everything if you're using their transmitter. But you don't need to use their transmitter. And I heard an interesting statistic today on somebody's video about it, that roughly 80% of the units that they've sold so far were without the transmitter. They were basically just the air units and the goggles, which is what I got. Can always buy the transmitter. There's no difference. You can switch it over very easily.
So if you use their transmitter, do you get all the telemetry in the goggles then?
No, you get the same. You get the same telemetry either way. Right. And I have to believe that they're going to come up with a way to integrate the OSD output, because there is a UART connection from the flight controller to the goggles. That's how they get the battery voltage and know that it's armed. And there's a lot of information that can be transmitted that way. But I figured an obvious workaround for anything that's really important, like RSSI, signal strength. If you're not using their radio, you're using your own radio, is with the Taranis radios and a receiver that has telemetry, like the R9s or the SXR, RSXR, make the radio talk or display the telemetry on the radio. So I have certain of my quads set up where if the battery voltage gets to a certain point, she actually comes and tells me the battery voltage is and spouts out the number. So on anything that's important to know that it might be low, you can actually have your transmitter actually speak to you and tell you that. There's two schools of thought on OSD too. For gadget freak ex-pilot guys like me, I love to see all those numbers and shit up there. It's fun. Yeah. But for purist flyers, they say, why would you want to clutter up that pretty image where you're flying with shit in front of your face? Just keep it to the bare minimum. So there's two schools of thought. There's two schools of thought on that. Let me take a second, Gary, and catch up with the chat here.
I just wanted to say something here to Aerial Views and Histories UK.
Yeah, I want to say hello to him.
Steve! There we go.
Oh, okay. I guess that's
an ongoing back and forth. It's,
oh, I see the Gary with the exclamation points. Yeah. Peter Carroll says this stuff's all way out his league. He's still learning to fly the Tello. That's all right, Peter. It's a drone and it flies. Enjoy it.
Steve in the UK is going to use some footage that I got from an air show here of the Avro Lancaster in flight, the bomber, the World War II bomber.
Oh, yeah.
He's just built a model of it, so my footage may come in handy for him. So
wow, an RC.
He's doing a little documentary on it, so he'll throw that in. So
is it an RC model?
No, it's static. I'm pretty sure it's static.
Oh, here's a new person in the chat. Gate mode sub. God, I can't even read that. Subsequential. Wow. Hey, how are you? He says he watched my Tyro 129 build video and just ordered one. A good hobby for a 60-year young Norwegian.
There you go.
Hey, there you go, man. Well, welcome to my live stream, and from a 72-year-old Floridian here.
And a 65-year-old Canadian. Welcome to
there you go. This is
the Seniors Drone Channel.
That's it. Hey, you know, that's what we ought to call this, the
Senior Talk.
Old Farts Drone Network. Oh, well, thanks for stopping by, man. And it's a great drone. So far so good. Excuse me a second. Oh man, need a little water already. There you go. So I ordered the goggles, the one that has the goggles and 2 air units, but no radio. And it's like $819. The air units with the cameras are $179 a piece, and the goggles are $529. So by ordering this deal, you're basically getting the second air unit for very little. Maybe $60, $70, $100 less than if you actually ordered the pieces and parts separately. But I found it on Amazon, and I like to buy this kind of stuff if I can on Amazon. If you buy it from DJI, you got to wait a long time for the shipment to get here. You know what I mean? You got to wait. And if I buy it from like Ray State Quads or Get FPV here in Florida, I got to pay 7% sales tax. And still wait a week. Takes them a week to ship it from the other side of the state to here.
Yeah.
Drone Shots, how you doing? Thanks for coming. And but I found if you find this stuff on Amazon, especially Amazon Prime, you got to get it in a day or two. But the most importantly is, have you ever returned anything to Amazon, Gary?
No, I haven't. But my wife is quite experienced sending stuff back.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Basically, you can give them a reason, but you don't have to. You just say, I want to return it.
Yeah.
And generally, if you look back at your orders, it tells you you can return this. If you can look back a month, you find you can return this until such and such a date. And if you want to return something, I want to return it. Next thing you know, 2 seconds later, and you get an email with a PDF to print a return label, and you take it to the UPS store, and they give you a receipt. Okay.
Yeah.
Within an hour, generally, of you taking it to the UPS store, you've got a refund.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah. In other words, they give you the refund when the package when they have proof that they've received the package. Now, subject to the fact that if you send them back an empty box, they'll discover that, 2 weeks later and charge you again. but they do figure that that you're refunded, that you send them back something legitimate, and you don't have to. Doesn't have to be broken. You can tell them any reason you want. You say, I don't like it. It's not exactly as represented. Didn't need it. Didn't want it. Whatever. They have a whole bunch of reasons. So I figure on something as expensive as this, it'd probably be pretty good insurance to know that I could buy. So they finally started showing up on Amazon, and not all the iterations of it were on Amazon, but they still play the silly games. I went on and I found it on Amazon, and was it last night that I ordered it, or the night before? I ordered it yesterday. I'll have it tomorrow. It's already, UPS has already sent me the delivery notice on it. And the last time I looked, it was on its way from Dallas to here. 2-day delivery. The thing said only 2 left. Okay.
Yeah,
only 2 left. I figure, oh shit, I better buy it real quick here before it's gone, because earlier in the day I had looked at it and it said only 4 left.
Oh,
yeah.
Now,
and then after I bought it, I went back and looked at it, and it said only 1 left. I said, that's cool. When I looked this morning, they only had 8 left.
The rest of them came in. Now, there's an interesting thing about the Amazon returns. There are YouTube channels that do nothing but buy Amazon returns.
Oh, you mean the guys that buy the big boxes full of this stuff? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then unpack it and tell you what they figure it's worth, and how much money they're going to make. Some of those are pretty interesting. A lot of junk and a lot of stuff that's pretty rough, but there's some treasure there,
Yeah, but it's amazing that on something expensive, you'd think they'd at least take a look at it and try to restock it or sell it as refurbished or open boxes. No,
throw it in a bin.
They don't care. That's like credit card companies writing off bad debt. It's part of doing business, I guess.
Yeah. And they're all making a ton of money, so
God. So I ordered it. It'll be here tomorrow. And the most important thing that I have to find out, and I wish that there were people around, like in a lot of these areas have a big population of FPV guys. So, hey, let me try out those goggles, see if I like them. I have nobody. There's not a pair of FPV goggles anywhere in sight. I just don't know anybody. None of the guys in my club have Fat Sharks. I've never had a pair of Fat Sharks on my head. I know that with my eyes and my special prescription, I pretty much have to have goggles where I can wear my glasses underneath, which is the first thing about the FPV goggles that the DJI goggles that really appealed to me is they fit over glasses. And as I've been watching, I watch every review that comes out on these things, and I've learned a tremendous amount about them, and that's why I ordered them, because I think that with my eyes, they're going to really make this thing much more enjoyable than it is for me now wearing the box goggles. It's not immersive. Whereas if I put on the DJI goggles, which I can wear over glasses, I'm there. I mean, you're right in it. Yeah. The box FPV box goggles are kind of like watching TV out there, somewhere. You don't feel like you're immersed in it. Whereas I know that all these guys that wear the Fat Sharks and everything have a much more immersive experience. And I felt kind of bad because I just can't seem to have that. If I bought a pair of Fat Sharks, I'd have to spend a lot of money having special diopters made. And they're generally made in Germany by this company.
Or LASIK surgery.
Pardon me?
Or LASIK surgery.
No, they can't fix what I have with LASIK. I have prism. I need prism correction. I need a prism. one of my eyes sees a little higher than the other for some reason. And my glasses, if you look at the lens, one of them's like thicker at the top and thinner on the bottom, you know. And if I take my glasses off, I see two images, one higher than the other.
I was doing
The only way to correct that would be to screw with the muscles surgery on, and I'm not going to, but next thing I know, I'll be a cross-eyed.
I was doing some work outside installing a gazebo, and I'm working over my head on some really fine stuff, and took my glasses off and put them upside down so I could look through the top.
Oh, wow. Did you say, there's something wrong, but I can't quite put my finger on it?
Well, I have some difficulty with small parts anyway because that finger doesn't feel anything.
Oh, really?
Well, I chopped it off with a table saw.
Oh, that's not good. Did they sewed it back on, I guess?
Yeah, it doesn't look quite right.
Oh, well.
But it moves a bit.
Rick Halber said hi to me again. I thought I said hi to Rick earlier. How you doing? Hey, somebody come into the chat here and
yeah, because I got to get going.
Yeah, somebody come on here and keep me company. Yeah. I did send out a bunch of emails. I guess it's a slow day out there, but anyway, so I ordered them, and the first thing before I do anything, I'm just going to take the goggles, turn them on, stick them on, and see if I can actually see the screen. There's a chance they may not work with my glasses. I don't know. So that's why I needed the option to send them back.
Amazon, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So before I decide even what drone I want to try to put it in or anything else, I just need to get my hands on the glasses and I try to read the chat and talk at the same time, and then right in mid-sentence, I read the chat and I get interrupted. But
well, Kenny at Cordosa Media just
I see that.
It's his birthday today.
Oh, hey, happy birthday, Ken. Glad you stopped by to say hello. Okay, what I was saying was, I just wanted to put the goggles on, make sure I could see. I can see with the other DJI goggles, okay, but I had to have special glasses made because in order to see that screen, I needed a stronger prescription. I needed my reading prescription, which is in my bifocals, not my regular. Now, you'd think that those things would be designed to be focusable for somebody for their distance vision. They wouldn't need reading glasses to put on a pair of goggles, but that's just how it worked out. So I had a pair of reading glasses made with the prism correction in them, and they worked okay. But then when I got these goggles for the Vipers for the FPV and put them on, I just use my regular glasses in there because if I try those reading glasses, it's way too strong. So it's a crapshoot with these things as to whether you can focus it or not. And they don't. What they should have in these goggles is not just the IPD adjustment, interpupillary distance, where you can slide them sideways, but they should have some kind of a focusing mechanism. Even cameras on the viewfinder have little built, focusing mechanisms, and that would really help. But they just haven't done that. So yeah. I'll let you know. At any rate, if this is going to open up, I think a source of content for my little YouTube channel that might not bore poor people, like yet another FPV flight.
Yeah, good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So my adventures with the and also learning the technical ins and outs of it, and as well, I'm getting pretty good with Betaflight, and I'm about to start doing more of these technical type live streams where I'll build a drone and configure Betaflight. But I've been studying quite a bit about all things Betaflight. That doesn't mean much to you, Gary, because you're not into the FPV, but you know, the hows and whys of PID tuning and all the other things that make these these quads fly better. And it is very technical. Oh, Bill Thomas.
Well, Thomas, Coast to Coast Drones.
Hey, Bill, I think I sent you an email to join in on the chat, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. I don't know if I have your email address or not, but
yeah, we need another panelist because I have to leave.
Yeah, somebody better come in here and keep me company. Don't leave me here sitting here all alone just trying to think of things to say.
I had an exchange today with Cardosa Media on Pusa Studios. That was their European wheel, you know, where they spin the wheel and you get subscribers. And he said, I'm playing for Brant Aerials. And I replied, I'm playing for Whaley Bird. I was playing for a guy in the UK. So doesn't it come up number 13? Number 13 is Cardosa Media, and I'm number 14. So they win, and I said, can't I give my thing to Whaley Bird? And they said, no, Cardosa won it, and he says, you're getting the subscribers.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
So they got me 25 subscribers, and they spun the wheel again, and I won it, and I won it for the other guy.
How I don't understand how that works. How do they get you 25 subscribers?
They just call out and they show your channel up on the thing, and they go through what your channel does, and they've got 190 people or something watching the.
Oh, I see. So they actually get these people to subscribe to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was some kind of a subscriber bank they could go in and say, here, 25 subscribers.
No, they do it. They do it all legitimate, and they don't allow sub for sub.
Yeah.
But I've discovered some pretty good channels on there, like this Whaley Bird guy. He's out of the UK, and he does fabulous stuff. And he flies a Spark and a Mavic Air, and I think he's got a Phantom. And he takes it on vacation with him, and he lives near the coast in the UK and does all these cruise ship videos.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he does great stuff, and he's a very animated kind of a guy. So, and he only had, well, I think last time I looked, 600 subscribers or something, but he's doing like world-class video, like really good stuff. And I couldn't understand why the guy didn't have several thousand, But yeah, it's kind of nice to spread the joy around,
Bill Thomas says that he's not getting notices when I come on. I don't know why that is. YouTube is a mystery. Interestingly enough, I get a notice on my cell phone when my thing comes on, and that just started. I've been doing these live streams for a long time, and I never got any notices. 2 weeks ago, I got my first one. I hit the go live button, and within like 20 seconds, my cell phone goes ding. I said, "Oh, what's that?" I said, "Oh, hell, live stream. I'm live." And that's great that they tell me about it, but damn it, YouTube, tell everybody else, will you? Because you're not doing me any good.
Yeah. Well, it comes up pretty quick in my email feed on the right here on the Confuser, Now it comes up on my phone as well, but I don't have my phone binging. So,
Paul Phantom Hodges Drone, how you doing?
Oh yeah, that's Paul Hodges. He's Paul Hodges and I took our advanced drone flight review together. He's a fellow flyer. We've been out a couple of times here.
Did you both pass?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good for you.
As a matter of fact, yeah. We did that back in May, and the flight reviewer actually came to my house, so we had home field advantage. He was saying, okay, let's do a site survey. How high do you suppose that is? And I said, well, it's 62 feet. Those poles are 65, and that tree's 82 feet. He said, okay, yeah, we get it. So it was quite to our advantage. We had everything set up exactly by the book. We had pylons set up near where we were flying, so that nobody would go into the landing area, and fire extinguisher on hand and first aid kit on hand and all the stuff that you need to have a real professional operation. So, and he made us fly in ADI mode and, take off and land manually, none of this automatic stuff,
Well, you're one step away from FPV stuff.
Yeah, I guess, I suppose,
I'll tell you though, it's a commitment. It's really a commitment if you're going to do it. I had no idea there was this much. Well, I guess I did, but I'm still surprised at just how technical this can get. I mean, you can. There's a level of stuff you don't have to deal with DJI. With DJI, you got to learn how to work the software.
Yeah,
but you don't have to really tweak anything in the flying end of it. You have to tweak the camera exposures and everything else, but you don't have to learn all that stuff. And I guess if you buy some of the pre-built FPVs that are tuned properly by the manufacturer, you're okay. But when you build them yourself, you have to start with a default Betaflight tune. And and we have a visitor. You're almost spelled here. And you know what? I came up with this. I was previewing a little music earlier, and I came across this one. And who came to mind?
Hard cars.
How's that, Art?
Yeah, excellent.
You don't get a welcome. Where else you get a welcome like this? Huh?
Yeah.
I don't have any special effects or sound effects. Come on.
I got to find something for you.
Good to see you, Art.
Good to see you, Gary.
I'm off soon. I've got a flight I'm doing tomorrow. We have an event near me every Friday the 13th where we get 10 or 12,000 motorcyclists getting together.
Nice.
And it's a big enough event that the police here come with heavy arms and armored vehicles and the whole business.
Uh-huh.
And it's a temporary flight restriction; you can't fly anywhere near it. But with 10,000 motorcycles, you can get well outside the TFR zone and catch the motorcycles coming in. So
Cool.
I'm leaving early in the morning and getting some shots of them coming from Brantford, Ontario, heading down towards Port Dover on Lake Erie.
Wow.
And
Cool.
should get a few thousand bikes in 10 minutes. I don't know.
Wow.
Awesome.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be
Your
interesting. Yeah.
video
Seeing that.
on Niagara River was awesome.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Now, the interesting thing was the park that we were in, if you look closely, there's a little gazebo.
Right.
And apparently I had no idea. It's a famous Canadian painting,
Oh,
that gazebo.
wow.
So, just sort of tripped over that one. And watching, I had the phone tethered to my iPad tethered to my phone.
Mm.
So when I was flying in that area, I had to make sure I didn't get into U.S. airspace. So I was just sort of keeping a few hundred meters back from the border.
Very nice.
And I was that was a funny fun flight. That was a fun flight.
Do you always fly close to the border?
That's the first time I've ever been close to the border. That's the first time.
I would think that That'd be a little nerve wracking. Or is the border not monitored all that well where you are?
Well, the Niagara River, I would imagine it's pretty well
Oh,
monitored.
okay. So you think they're keeping an eye on drones, huh?
It gets pretty narrow at some points, probably only a couple 100 yards,
Oh, wow.
between the two countries. And I was shooting from 200 feet, 200 to 300 feet. I was shooting Fort Niagara State Park in New York State. So I was able to see it quite clearly from there.
Wonderful.
From 400 feet.
Your dog wants in, Gary.
What's that?
Your dog wants in.
Oh, yeah, Mac always wants something. There he is.
Yeah, we're keeping you informed.
Yeah.
Anyway, that said, I got to get going. Thanks very much.
Hey, thanks for coming in here, Gary, and helping me out.
Good to see
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Art, for the relief and the shout out for my balls video. And yeah, we'll catch you next Thursday, Mitch. I'll make sure you don't have to hang out all on your own.
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate it. Either that or, I could prepare for this show. I could actually maybe, line up some stuff to do like all the other guys do. But maybe I'm too lazy for that.
Well, I think on your first show, you lined me up to come in 10 minutes early to do a dress rehearsal. And you ran me through the ringer pretty good, Art, let me tell you. I had hair and makeup, the whole business.
Yeah.
I'm easy when it comes.
Yeah. So we're heading to Port Dover tomorrow to see several thousand motorcycles and see if we can get a video out of it. So
wonderful.
Yeah. So
wonderful.
Thanks again so much, and we'll catch you next Thursday.
All right. Take care.
Gary.
Okay. Take care. Fly safe. Have fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Art.
Yeah, I'm here.
There we go. Waiting for Gary to hang up. Didn't want to hang up on him
let's
first.
Say hello to a few folks. Like
go ahead, be a co-host.
Yeah, Tommaso Sullivan, welcome. And Bill from Coast to Coast Drones, welcome. Phantom Hodges Drones, Drone Shots, welcome. Yeah.
Good job, man. All right, you're hired. You're hired. I like that. I like that backdrop. That's
Yep, that's downtown Denver.
Yeah, it reminds me of the newscasts in the
right.
where they show them sitting in front of New York when, in reality, they're sitting in a basement in Toledo, in front of a green screen or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh man! So, did anybody notice? I thought it was kind of funny, but did anybody notice the thumbnail for this particular video?
Oh, I don't know. I think I probably just passed over it. I don't. Brett Hunley, welcome to the show.
Let me see if I can find it here.
Okay.
Let's see here.
I don't know if you knew about my little accident that I had last week.
When you lost your drone, and
yeah,
no, the last I heard, you had tried 3 times to get it back, and
the third time I got a hold of the guy, and he said he threw him away.
They threw him away. Yeah, you believe that?
I don't know.
You don't know, huh?
I went through the trash. From what I could see, I didn't see anything that looked like a drone protruding from somewhere. 2 of the 3 bins were pretty full, and they probably wouldn't have put them in a bag and then thrown them away. They probably would just chucked them in there. And even if they did, I'd probably see a prop or part of a drone sticking out somewhere, but I didn't see anything.
Huh.
Yeah. So I posted the video of the crash on my channel.
Oh, okay.
It records to my tablet too.
But could you see where it went down?
Yes, I saw it. Here I am. I'm over the drone that I'm trying to recover. I'm slowly going down, 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 and there's a wall there. I'm trying really careful not to get close to it, but I got an error message that says radio interference, and right about then, that's when it hit that wall, and it went down and tumbled right off the roof.
Now, was that that was the rescue? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the P3.
Well, so Art, this is the Rick Halvers noticed it. I was wondering if anybody would notice this, but this is the was the thumbnail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's cute. Yeah.
I still think that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let me get it out of there. Now, I tried to figure out, you know how he sits and looks around?
Right.
I tried to figure out a way to get the goggles on him where he would be looking around.
Oh, okay.
That would have been too much. That would have been too much of an animation to try to pull off.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But so when are you going to start, or have you ever thought about flying FPV?
Oh, I would love to if I have the money. I'd do it. I'd do it like what you did. Start off with a little, tiny whoop and practice with that, and then I would like to build a cine whoop where I could put a GoPro on it and really get some neat cinematic footage with that.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to. I thought that it would be easier to fly these things in a cinematic style than it really is.
No.
It's so spoiled by how smooth the camera drones are with the gimbals and everything.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mine with no gimbal.
Mm-hmm.
Every tiny little movement of that stick gives you a corresponding movement in the drone. A little tiny pitch change, up, down, sideways, and I'll show you. Let me see if I can find it here.
Okay.
Because I'm going out and flying. I can fly around in the house and fly around obstacles. So
right.
I took a drone out the field the other morning, and what I thought I would do would be to just try to fly around,
right,
and be smooth,
mm-hmm.
and it ain't easy. And this was shot with the this is the video that comes from the RunCam 5.
Okay.
Let me get that up there and make it full screen. So there we go. And to the point where it starts to fly. And I just decided that I would take off and just try to fly smooth, and
oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, but you'll see that even the slightest little bit of pitch correction, up or down, or forgetting to level off completely.
That's cool.
Yeah, but that's not the kind of flying that you normally see these FPV guys doing. Usually they're flying around trees and obstacles and abandoned buildings and things. But I said, okay, I want to see if, and I, thought I'd do a big loop.
Oh, that's cool. Well, you're showing me another fishing spot now.
Yeah, the county. That's
that little canal there.
That's the dump. This is the dump where our flying field is. It's actually on dump property. We got to go through the weigh station, show our badge, and and sign in to get in here.
Badgers. We don't need no stinking badgers.
Yeah, stinking is right. When the wind blows from the north, it smells real fragrant. But that's Now that's a Run Cam 5, which
Right.
is like the Hero size, Hero
Okay.
Session size camera.
Right.
And that was this video was flown with this drone here,
Oh, nice.
which is my original Tyro 99, my first
Right.
build. I decided, remember, to rebuild it.
Right.
And Jody
Yeah, I
decided
remember
I
that.
should call it the Mitch 5000, and
Right.
that's what I did. And this is the little run cam 5,
Right.
and this is what I saw through the goggles right here.
Okay.
And you'll see that what you see through the goggles is nothing like what you're going to see through what you see through the cinema camera. That's why I'm hoping that having the DJI high def will give me that kind of view.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But it won't be cluttered up with all this OS.
Yeah, that's
Right
right.
now, I'm like a kid with a candy store. I wanted to see what all of this was going on, so I put all this crap on the OSD. I've got the channel and the mode and all the GPS information and a compass and latitude, longitude. I just wanted to see what it all looked like. But you can see that when you're looking through the goggles,
Right.
it's just it's not the same experience.
Right.
You get the analog video with the breakups and
Right.
Anyway, I don't know if you see the numbers over on the right, the 42 M. That's
Yeah.
my altitude in meters.
Me.
The 83K is my speed in kilometers per hour.
Okay.
For some reason, it cuts off some of the bottom of you see the display where it says Mitch 5. You see all that in the goggles, but on the DVR, it cuts it off. It may be that I was never seen PAL mode in NTSC or something like that.
Nice.
But this is the view you get from the goggles. And as you can see, it's okay and you can fly, but it's nothing like what you're going to see with an HD feed. And
Right.
that's when I decided, okay, I got to try this HD stuff, because with my stupid glasses and everything and these box goggles, I'm not getting the flying experience that I want from this thing. I can fly it, but I'm not getting that. I don't feel like I'm flying. I can watch the HD replay of it, but when I fly my Mavic with the DJI goggles,
Right.
it's a different deal. And I'm hoping that I can get that same kind of experience with the FPV drones.
Right.
Then I'd be a happy camper. But that's
right.
That's where that is right now. So I've been flying on. I've been trying to get a little smoother. I've been building them. I'm enjoying the hobby. Bill Thomas asked me if I bought the DJI. I did, Bill. I ordered it yesterday from Amazon. I did put the link that I bought it from in the description.
Cool.
And it's an affiliate link, and if any of you guys buy it through there, I'll make 35 cents. But that's not why I did it. I did it because I've been looking everywhere for what I thought would be the best place to buy this.
Right.
If I buy it from any of these dealers here in Florida, like Get FPV or Race Day Quads,
Right.
I have to pay sales tax and shipping.
Yeah.
They don't have free shipping, and I pay sales tax.
Oh.
If I buy it from China, if I buy it from Banggood or one of them, I got to wait a month for it. If I buy it from DJI, I got to put up with, if I have a problem or need a return, I got to put up with that bureaucracy. If I buy it from Amazon, and I get it in 2 days, no sales tax, free shipping. And if I have any problem, I return it for any reason whatsoever. Bingo. And I found Art within an hour of me dropping the return back off at the shipping place, like the UPS store, I get the credit. The refund is they do that. It's unbelievable.
Cool.
They give you the shipping label. You don't even have to print the shipping label now. You can scan. They'll give you a barcode on your cell phone. You take the thing into the UPS store. You hold it up. He scans it. Bingo! Prints the shipping label. Sticks it on your package. And half the time, on my way home from there, my cell phone goes ding, and I see that I got a credit on my credit card.
Wonderful.
Yes, it's incredible. So I did find that Amazon, they don't have all the different iterations, but they do have the one that I wanted. And Bill, the one that I got was the one that I got was the goggles,
okay,
and the 2 air units.
Oh, okay.
I don't need or want their transmitter. I want to keep using the Tyrannus, and I'm using the R9.
Right.
See this, the R9 module with the long range antenna, that 900 megahertz. And I want to keep using this radio because I'm getting used to flying with these sticks, and I don't want to go and switch back and forth.
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm going to continue to use that receiver and radio setup.
Right.
And Bill Thomas said he wants to get me on the show. Hey man, I'll come on your show. I'll come on anybody's show anytime.
He's on my show.
You just let me know. Nobody ever asks me, so I don't bother. You had me on your show, Art.
Yep.
But no, I'd love to, and I'd love to talk about it. And I'm hoping to learn an awful lot about how it works, what the drawbacks are, and everything else. And Jerry Calvary, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, Jerry, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the pre-Ken Hearn warm-up show.
Yep, that's what we are. We're kind of the minor leaguers, the warm-up act.
I don't even know if I'm minor leagues yet. I think Mitch is a cheap date, Lloyd. Hey, Lloyd.
Oh yeah, Lloyd, the grumpy vlogger. Well,
how you doing, Lloyd?
Gotta come over and check out the Sunday show over at Art's place.
I keep saying I'm going to, and then I don't know what happens to my Sundays. I just I don't know. Sundays. I don't even remember that there even was a Sunday. To tell you the truth, but and I have your bell rung. I don't know, but oh no, I'm not. It's a different channel. See, you guys, you confuse me. You got. If you got more than one channel, I'm gonna have a hard time keeping up with you. Oh man. Well, so it's going to be an adventure with this FPV stuff.
Yep. And that's something I would like to try out, see if I'm any good at it, and that's why I want to start off small, like that, and then work my way up to build my own drone, and or maybe do what you did, where you get a cheaper drone that you can upgrade by moving it over to another frame or something, and make it into something that you want it to be, whether it's a racing drone or a cinema drone. I've got some SJ cams that are similar to the camera you've got on there. The run cam, is that what's that called?
Well, you mean the camera that actually the FPV camera, or the high def camera that's
high def cam
going for a ride? Yeah, that's a Run Cam 5, and it's same size as a Hero Session 5.
Yeah.
And it works pretty good. It's not as rugged, it's not as heavy, it's not waterproof. It's not a Hero Session, but
is that a 720 or an 8?
No, 4K. It's 4K.
Oh, it's 4K. Oh,
yeah, it'll shoot 4K. It costs $100.
Okay. Well, the SJ cam you get for $45.
Oh, there's a ton of them out there.
Oh yeah, and you can probably get, if you get the M10, they're probably even cheaper by now.
Yeah, but you know, they don't quite have the quality that this thing has been. Of all the tests I've seen in my own experience, it's as close to the Hero, to the GoPro, as I've seen.
Uh-huh.
I have some of the cheaper ones I've tried, but they don't
What?
quite do it. This thing I think is gonna work out pretty good. But one of the advantages of the DJI system,
right,
is you don't need to carry a camera, because it has a built-in DVR in the air unit.
Oh, okay.
And records high def right from the camera to the SD card, and in
cool.
what is traditional DJI quality. They're using their technology, which you know, the recording technology and camera technology that they've pretty well perfected, and so you don't have to carry the camera. The only consideration that you have to think of is, if you look at the FPV camera, which is right here,
right,
you got to get props in. You get the props in the shot.
Right. Yep.
This thing above them, if we usually miss the props, even then sometimes, because it's wide angle, you do get the props.
Right.
So let me show you another drone here as an example. So they have this style frame.
Wow. Yeah.
This is a 7-inch quad. This is the drone I'm going to install. I built the drone and I flew it, and it's a great drone, but this is the one I'm going to rebuild with the first DJI. It's a 7-inch quad.
Right.
The frame style is called a dead cat.
Yeah, I could see.
Can you see why?
Yep.
And if you notice that the camera sticks way out,
right,
and the props don't get in the shot of the camera because of the design of the frame, the front legs are back. See, they're not a true X like so many of the other ones are, which would have them out here.
Right.
They're pushed back, and this is what they do to these things so that you can keep the props out of the shot. So when I mount the DJI camera way up here in the nose, it'll be out in front of the props. I won't need this. I won't need this camera mount on it anymore. In fact, this one, if you can see, it has the has the Tarsier, the little dual lens camera with the built-in DVR. So this thing already shoots 4K in these little things. And the only reason I mounted this on top was I wanted to throw the RunCam on here, the RunCam 5,
right,
and do a test and compare the RunCam 5 footage to the Tarsier. I never, like so many things that you want to do for YouTube, I never got to it. So I'm probably not going to get to it, because I'm probably going to take this apart,
right,
and put, this was the last custom build that I did, and because it's a 7-inch quad, it flies very smooth and very stable. And I think that for Cine, the bigger the quad, I think the better it's going to be for flying. Trying to get cinematic stuff. I'm going to turn the what they call the rates way down to down lower, so that I don't get quite as quick a movement from the stick. In other words, you have to move the stick a little more, try to keep it a little smoother. And then what I'm thinking about doing, I want to build an FPV airplane. A long range FPV airplane with all of the autopilot and navigation stuff in it.
Oh, cool.
And electric. And some of these things carry 15 to 20,000 milliamp batteries.
Wow.
like bricks. These things are huge,
I bet.
and can fly for an hour or so,
Oh
and
boy.
go great distances. And
Mhm.
I'm thinking that Tarsier camera
Uh-huh.
would be great for that,
Mhm.
because you'd get the FPV feed, the analog feed into the goggles. You could do it with the DJI, but I could use that Tarsier, and there's a whole following of. I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of talking and reading some of the chats. And Mars says, "Does a Ted cat meow?" I don't think so, Mars. Although they do have 9 lives, so maybe they do. So anyway, I'm thinking about building,
Yeah.
and there's an airplane kit it's called a Sonic model binary. And hold on a second here. Sonic. And let's see here. I can't believe Get FPV's got it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's a foam. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's a twin engine thing. See it?
Yep.
And it's got all kinds of. You put the FPV camera up here.
Right.
It's got mounts already made for it. It's got room in there for all kinds of equipment. Room in there for a huge battery. It's
yep. A friend of mine, his son got one of those, and he was demonstrating that to me. And then he's flying along, and all of a sudden, it just fell out of the sky, and it just broke apart.
Oh, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
but this is this thing is really so the airplane, if you buy it from Banggood, I can't believe that they have it here. They get 129 for it. Banggood, they get 100 and maybe 104. And then you got to buy I don't know if you can see it, but that's where that big hunkin' battery goes.
Right.
And it's got a camera bay in the back for downward facing cameras if you want to use it for mapping.
Right.
The FPV camera goes up here in the front.
Right.
And it's a pretty big airplane, twin engine, and that's the equipment bay where you can put your flight controller.
Right.
There's a company called Eagle Tree, and I used to use their stuff years ago, and they make all of these autopilots and GPS modules and things.
Right.
They have a flight control system which gives you a heads-up display in your goggles that looks like a fighter pilot. It's got all the gyros, and it's just slick as can be. It's fully programmable. The thing will fly missions, waypoints, do all that stuff. Cool. Anyway, this big bay here is where you put all the flight equipment. This would be the camera, downward-facing camera bay.
Right. You
can put landing gear on it or just hand launch it. It's a pretty big model. It's got a little over, I think, about a 4.5 foot wingspan. Yeah. That's a full. There's the fully outfitted version of it, where you see the FPV camera. They got a 360 camera sitting on this one here. There's the GPS module.
Right.
The FPV transmitter. They've got something. Oh, this is probably a camera on the back tail there. One of those little sports cameras. But this is what I want to build. I want to build one of these. The airplane, they have light kits for it. The airplane itself is with everything you need except the electronics is probably $225 to $250 to buy the airframe, the kit, the power kit with the motors and all the servos, the lighting kit, the landing gear kit, all that stuff. It's about $250. So it's really it's $250, and then you're going to spend about $300 or so for the for that autopilot system. Right. What's this? Here we go. So I've got a video here. Oh, There you go. How cool. It's cool, isn't it?
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
I've looked at a number of different ones, but I want to build. This is the one I want to build. Anyway, that's
Cool.
a project. Is something else I want to do. So, being retired, I got time.
Yep.
And I get bored of things easily. So, oh, Carlos is here. How you doing?
All right.
For 200 hours, you get the powered up. Carlos is talking about something. Anyway, how you doing, Carlos? Good to see you. We still got Lloyd is still here. Everybody's still here. Good.
Yeah, Bill's still here.
Yeah.
Tomas. Yeah.
So the FPV stuff, I went from not actually really bad mouthing, but being kind of negative about it to now I'm pretty excited. And like I say, I was telling Gary, the first thing I need to do is when I get it, is open it up, take out the goggles, power them up, stick them on my face with my glasses, and see if I can actually use them because of my eyes, with the strange prescription I have.
Right.
And if I can't use them, I put them back in the box, go onto the website, Amazon, return, back they go. I really hope that doesn't happen because
Mitch, that address is 5557 West 79th Avenue, apartment 3, Colorado 8000.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to write that down. Anyway, wish me luck with that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to, I think, start just doing more live streams while I'm working on this stuff. What do you think? Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, that'll get your watch time up.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
But for me anyway, if I'm going to build a quad,
right,
to try to build it and record it while I'm building it with the idea of scripting, trying to condense it all down into a 10 or 15 minute video. It takes the fun out of building it for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It takes the fun out of building it.
Right.
This is my hobby. It's not my business. Some of these guys, it's their business. Oh, Carlos is here. I'll give him a second he's bouncing around and setting his camera up. You all set? All right. Let's see if we can find some good entrance music for Carlos here. I found one that I thought was really great for you. You liked that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. In fact, somebody came on the chat. I don't know if you saw it and said, "How art thou?" Here's one. How's that? A little suspense, a little tension.
I was hoping something with a little Latin flavor. I know you like the Spanish music. Get your blood going.
Okay. Hang on a second here.
You have a few of those, I think, in your repertoire there.
Oh, I like that.
Where's my I left the other phone in the room. I can't see the chat, just for the record.
How's that?
I like it.
And then I got this one too.
It gets the hips going. There you go.
Hey, merengue.
There you go. That's good. I like that. There you go, Art. You see it, even gets heart going. I'm telling you, makes you move. Just does something to you. That Spanish music.
Got knobs and buttons.
Is Grumpy? You know what? Let me go get my other phone because I want to see the chat. Grumpy was looking for ready to fly, but there's no real good ready to fly goggles out there.
Oh man, you know, the Vipers are good.
Yeah, I was going to show him the Vipers and the ET 115 because
Yeah, the
I don't know if
Vipers
he really wants to get involved in
FPV.
FPV, but
Oh,
if you're
wow.
going to go, you might as well go decent.
Yeah, you heard that I'm getting the DJI one, huh?
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
I've been fighting the urge been trying to talk myself out of it for a month, but I just
going in.
I saw enough good things about it to offset what I thought were some of the downside, and I some of the things that it doesn't do that I'd like it to do, I'm sure will be accomplished. With
You don't find it too proprietary, so to speak?
I'm not buying the transmitter. I'm only buying the goggles and the air units. So for me, it's only going to replace the camera and the VTX and whatever high def recorder I carry.
Oh, okay. So then we'll really get a real, what do you call it, review or opinion out of you once you put it up in the air into the test.
Yeah, you will. And not so much the flying, because the flying is still the same. It's still the same quad, same beta.
At least you'll be able to go a distance and see if it pixelates or not, you know, how well it does.
Yeah, but the thing is 700 milliwatts. If you turn it up to 700 milliwatts, that thing's gonna probably rival what some of the DJI, the Mavics and things probably go for miles. I know I use the R9M.
I don't think the situation. I'm sorry. The problem is the distance more than the latency. So you're actually 10 feet from what you're seeing, possibly.
I don't think that from what I've seen, the latency, you'd have to be out of range for it to go above like 50 milliseconds, which is okay.
Or speed, I think, also might affect it. No,
I think that the latency problems we've all seen have been the fact that people had their units stuck in 25 milliwatts without realizing it, because there is a setting in the thing which basically allows the transmitter to look at something in Betaflight and tell it. There's a setting in Betaflight that's it's a VTX setting that says low power disarm, it's called. And if low power disarm is set to on and you have smart audio where your video transmitter is receiving signals from the flight controller on a UART,
right?
Not only can you change your channels and power by using your sticks on your transmitter through smart audio.
Okay.
But the flight controller can send these commands to the VTX if it's programmed to do so. So on the CLI, you know, the command line interface, you're that far along, aren't you? Where you've done things? No, okay. Well, there's, you know what the CLI is? Down at the bottom, way down at the bottom on Betaflight on the left-hand side, after you get through modes and all those other tabs, there's something that says CLI. That's the command line interface.
Oh, that's what that young man you said introduced you into?
He told me the settings to use, EBR. Not EBR, but
another gentleman, I remember.
And I already knew what the CLI was, but I didn't realize the extent to which you could program these things.
Right. So
what I did was in there's a setting, and it's called, and it says VTX low power disarm equals on or off, and you set your transmitter power is remembered. If you change it through smart audio, it stores that setting in Betaflight. Next time you fire up the quad or look at it in the Betaflight
that much I know
configurator, it'll keep the changes, and that's the VTX power setting. But if that low power disarm equals on, if your normal VTX power is set to 3 or 4, which is going to be the highest power, 800, 600, 800 milliwatts, when you disarm the quad, it automatically sets it to the lowest possible power.
Back to 0. Okay.
When you arm the quad, it sets it to whatever the setting says, like 3 or 4. If that is set to on, it somehow confuses the DJI system and it won't let it go above 25 milliwatts.
So do let's
You have
say
to
it doesn't
disable
do it.
that.
Can you go through smart audio and bring it up?
You can't
If it-
see smart audio through the DJI headset because you don't have the on-screen display. See, you go into the menu on the DJI goggles and turn that feature off. Period. And
Okay.
what happened was the guys who were really bad mouthing this thing as having no range were setting it to 700 milliwatts, but it would never go because this other setting kept it because it never received or was
The
told it
command.
was armed. Yeah.
Right.
So in 700 milliwatts, these guys are flying these things all over the place, and it'll be interesting. I don't want to go that long range, but I want to know that I can go a mile without it crapping out. And
Yeah,
the
no,
the R9 module, the red module in the back of the Tyrannus,
Right.
okay.
is miles and miles. It's 900 megahertz. It'll transmit it at a watt, 1 watt. If you could set it to 1 watt, this thing will. They say
R9
the
is
range.
further-
They say the range is like 10 kilometers and more.
R9 is stronger than the Crossfire.
It's Crossfire
Or
has
similar?
it's a less expensive but similar version of what Crossfire does, and I've been tickled with this thing. I mean, I go up and fly with this thing, and I'll be out there 500 meters, 800 meters, and my RSSI is still 98.
So your goggles, do your goggles keep up with it as well?
If I put the VTX to 800 milliwatts, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I get pretty good distance from them. But with the DJI system, I'm interested because I know with the Mavics, there's nothing magical about a Mavic. They use the same kind of radio signals. It's
Not
just
OcuSync? Isn't it OcuSync? The Mavic?
OcuSync, yes, but it's still it's still basically a radio transmission on a 2.4 or 5 point something gigahertz frequency. I mean, there may be some little algorithms that they have that and diversity things that they do, like some of the modules for the Fat Jar goggles do, but basically it's still just a radio signal, and it's not magic.
Right.
It's finely tuned, and I think it'd be interested to see what the FPV thing. Mars says I'm going to love the DJI system.
Is Grumpy still on? Is Grumpy Vlogger still in the chat at all?
I saw him. Be right back. He said, "Yeah."
All right, I'm gonna get 2 things to show him. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So that it's
Oh,
going to be interesting. It's going to
just
be
wanted
interesting.
to let you know I'm going to spin it. I got my plane
Hey,
ticket.
good for you.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I want to give a big shout out to Doug at who's I Am Wedge. He pulled through and pushed me up to my goal on the GoFundMe.
Oh, good for you. Good
Yep.
for you. Get your hotel and everything.
Mitch,
That's the next thing I'm going to work on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll be sleeping in the street. We don't want
Mitch,
that.
are your FXT goggles out of a case near you or no?
Yeah. You want? Well, I'll go get them. Hold on a second.
No, I got it. I get it. You're the host. I have mine here. I just didn't know if yours were right next to you. I'll get it.
No, I got them in the other room.
And
I'll tell you what, Art. You say hello. I've been tossing back and forth whether I wanted to go to Spin Up, and
I got it.
and it would cost me
Yeah.
about the same as this DJI system. By the time I got a plane ticket and a hotel and paid so I said, you know what? Do I want to spend one day in Texas, or do I want to get an DJI FPV?
Okay, I get you.
So say hi to you'll say hi to everybody.
I will. And I'm getting a replacement for my the Parrot Swing that I lost last week. Marcus Crawford, Idaho Quad Hopper, is sending me a brand new one.
Oh, that's nice. Just don't lose it on a roof and go after it with another.
No, I'm not going to do that. So I'll have an extra controller.
Well, that's good.
So what I'm thinking of doing is getting the Parrot Mambo, which uses the same controller.
Oh, really?
You could get just the drone itself, and it's like $45.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And since I'm close to 1,000, I think that's going to be my next giveaway.
Jody says to get State Farm insurance.
Yeah.
$60 a year.
Oh, it depending on what you insure, it's even cheaper
No,
than that.
I think it's all across the board, just about.
No,
I think.
they charge you so much. Well, I guess if you just have one drone, but I have
Yes.
I have two drones and it's $70-something because they actually take the actual value of the drones, and it's so much. You pay so much, $1,000 for coverage.
So I see Grumpy Vlogger came back. I just want to show him something real quick.
Let me make it big.
I'm gonna break my stuff. So this is the Tiny Hawk.
Come on, do it right. You're the star.
This is this is the Tiny Hawk Grumpy, and this is what I suggest you get. You can see the difference in size.
Yeah.
This is not only faster, it's stronger, in my opinion. And then the goggles, which Mitch and I have, are the goggles here. I take the bottom off so that you can still see the ground. These are let's say $200 with the battery that you need to buy.
$600
No, about $200 with the $25 Fat Shark goggle that you need battery. And this is the problem with.
I just use a regular. I don't need a Fat Shark. I just use a regular 3-cell.
Well, I guess he has to get the right charger anyway for the batteries. But look at the difference. These are the Emax Tiny Hawk ready to fly, and these things, you can't use them with glasses, as you can see, because they don't fit. It's too small, and you get the difference in size. It's a whole different animal.
You know what? I've started using mine with the black shield on the bottom again because when I fly out there in a bright sunlight. Now, if you're sitting in the shade, it's one thing, but when I'm out there in the bright sunlight,
well, me than the sun, it doesn't bother. But these are so small. They really. The only thing, excuse me, I like about these is it has a fan inside.
But they're cheap. They're cheaper.
Well, it's $165. You get. Oh, let me see. Do I have? You get the controller.
You're talking about the kit that has everything.
Well, that's what he was looking into. Let me get the controller and show him.
Nice.
Yeah. I may as well bring us back in here.
I don't know why I keep it, but this is the controller that comes with it. It's a decent size.
It looks like the one I got here for my Tello.
Similar, a little larger though. This is more like the X Lite controller, but I mean, so this is what you get. You get this, the Tiny Hawk, and those goggles for $165. But those goggles are pretty much useless. They're not going to really fit comfortably.
But you know what? If you want to find out if you even have an interest in it, that's not a bad way to go. Although you can buy a Tyrannus for $110, $120.
Right.
Which is a radio that'll carry you. And
no, but then with the battery though, it's going to cost you a little more. No.
You know what? I bought this one. I bought the S.
You got a good one. Yours is good.
I got the Q7S, and it came with the battery. It came with the charger. It came with the R9 module, okay, as well, and it cost me $180.
Right. So for that much money, you can even get the X Lite. I don't know if you'd like that.
You can, but this is I mean, this is a real radio that will. You know, some of the pro guys are using this radio. I mean, it's that capable.
Oh yeah.
And the $175 goggles, the Vipers, and then
I like them. They're the best.
Then you've got good quality stuff that you can use with virtually any drone you want to fly. Rather than
did you buy different antennas for your goggles? For your goggles.
I've got some I've got
omnidirectional.
Keep them talking. I'll be right back.
All right, and I'll show you the ones I got right here. So after a while, you're going to have to spend some money, but they have what they call omnidirectional because on the goggle, this one is called a patch. So this one is basically flying in front of you. You get reception, and this one you put on the other side of the goggle, and this is omnidirectional. So now you get to fly around
all around you. Okay.
And then this one will pick up. So it'll go back and forth between the two.
Oh, okay.
This was $17. I think this one was $15 to $20.
Right.
I mean, it adds up little by little, but the fun that comes out of it is priceless.
Mhm.
Like the American Express, you know,
Yeah.
commercial. It's priceless.
Yep.
I mean, I went all in, and I no longer have the GPS drones. I'm done,
Oh, okay.
and I don't think I'm going to do the goggles that Mitch are getting.
Oh, the FPV.
I'm happy with my 5.8 gigahertz.
I'm
at
gonna-
this point in my life.
I'm gonna, I'm hoping that they're great, and I would never give them up. I'm still flying analog. I got all these drones and everything. I'm certainly not going to convert them all over, but this is here. Let me.
It's too bad you can't come up with something to put the 5.8 on those goggles and be able to switch and do both.
No, because the optics in the DJI goggles make this look sick. I mean, I have the regular DJI white goggles, and the image,
those are great.
picture is bright. It's just so immersive.
Yeah.
These aren't nearly as immersive.
Oh, really?
Those. No, but
Wait,
anyway,
what are we talking about? Oh, those. Yeah. Oh, yeah, same thing.
Here's what I got. See the antennas?
The patch and the Omni.
Yeah.
Which Omni do you have? Just curious.
This is the
Triple feed?
It's an open source hybrid triple feed patch designed by Martin Barrett. I saw it on a YouTube video, and it's the cool thing about it is if you notice in the back, it's got two
left and right. Yeah. I was just showing the guys
and
that.
you can make it left or right circular polarized.
And you cap your end off, which I recently did.
Yeah, capped it off with I've got the little terminator. This one here is called a far view.
Far view?
Far view. I've never heard of that, but it is without a doubt
menace.
The greatest antenna that I found. It's super. It wasn't expensive either, but it's probably made by the same guys that made the patch, because it still says designed by Martin Barrett on it, and the printing and the colors are almost the same. See,
where'd you get that from? Amazon or
where else do you get this? Yeah. And then I just used
RGQ a few times.
Then I just use a 3S 1550 on the back.
Okay. And it fits comfortably in the pouch.
Yeah,
nice.
It's right in the pouch, and it lasts a full day of flying. I have a couple extra of these with me, I used to fly my drones 3S, but now I'm flying them all 4S. So
you're a big shot now.
I'm a big shot. You know the definition of.
Although I will say this Tiny Hawk is fun, right, Mitch? This is a fun drone to fly.
I fly it all the time. Fly it around in the house. I fly it outside. I got a little video here of. Hang on a second. Let me get you guys back in. I don't mean the whole thing. Not all that pretty. Where is this? Tiny Hawk? Is this it here? Hang on a second. This may be all over the place, but
it's I don't know. I tell you what, you have to admit you don't fly your GPS drones like you used to after this, right?
No, I haven't flown them in a while.
Yeah, it's so I don't know.
But here, this is
it grabs you.
This is the little Tiny Hawk outside in air mode, and
you're gonna full screen it. There you go.
Yeah. And it's just flying it around. Remember, I'm not that good yet.
And that's in air mode?
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing good. Did you Juicy Hawk? I like that.
That was the Project Mockingbird mod. When I did all those mods, it actually changed the name.
Got it. No, and it's not bad. The picture.
But that's a little Tiny Hawk, Not a big.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Not a big wide open place to fly, but
has your camera come off yet?
Oh yeah, but then I got that little
the little cap
thing for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I get, for just flying around, it's only a 25 milliwatt transmitter.
No, but it's still fun. It keeps your fingers in the muscle memory mode.
Yeah, but I've got one one little video here where I actually was had it out there at the office park, and I was doing power loops with it and rolls and I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's good.
And then of course, you take the same thing. Here's one. I was flying around the other day in the house, and I started. I was in the. I started in my studio.
What's up with that tripod and light stuff, Mitch? You doing porn in your house?
No, that's the green screen. That's my green screen. So what I did was I, banged into that first, underneath it, and out the door,
doing the gas,
banging in everything, and then finally got it out into the open.
No, but it's still. And this is what mode now? Stable or
yeah, I fly stabilized in the house. Yeah, acro is all over the place.
Yeah, it's too much.
No, but in the house, it's great practice. What's the throttle management is because you don't want to, bang in the ceiling and hit the floor. You got to keep it.
Now I noticed I don't see your the motors or anything. Or you have the camera set higher.
I think I do, but you can see that. Oh, you're not going to see it there because my.
I can see a little bit on the bottom right, just a little bit
off the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
The very bottom, the bottom 10% of the screen is cut off, so it fits in the OBS window.
Right.
But here I was sitting way back at the other end of the house, flying through. I mean, at this point, I'm going through probably 5 different walls and God knows how many rooms.
Yeah, no, it's it's great for a rainy day, a hot day, a cold day.
It's just good practice,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Really, really good practice, and fly around the bedpost. Got to make sure I turn the ceiling fans off, though.
Where are the curtains around that?
I bought this. I didn't buy this thing. I bought it used. When I got divorced, I went out and bought a bunch of used furniture, and I didn't care. I mean, I wouldn't have bought a bed like that if I went into a store, but I got to help the deal on it,
But I don't know. But we don't know the other side of Mitch's life over there. He's got all those cameras and who knows what.
But this is this is fun. It's fun to just. And I was sitting way down at the other end of the house flying this little thing. See that door right over there on the right?
Yeah. That's where you're at?
Yeah, way down at the corner. You'll see I'll fly back in. See, that's my studio.
Gotcha.
That door right in front of us there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I keep my green screen I move it out of the way. There I am sitting in the chair. That's the chair I'm sitting in right now, see? With the goggles.
It's so much fun though. I don't know. I mean, how are your batteries doing?
Oh, they don't last, right? They're
terrible.
They're terrible. The batteries are not good. You get a 2.5 minute, 3 minute flight, and then they puff up after a while. They just My bigger batteries really hold up a lot better, and I think maybe the reason is that we really abuse these little batteries. I think we run them down a lot more than we should.
Did you read what Grumpy just wrote?
That's why Mitch is a cheap date, Carlos. Yes. A lot of batteries there, Lloyd. A lot of batteries. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
No, you see, on mine, you see the little red hood.
Yeah. Mine, I glued it on. Not so pretty, but it works.
Put it in there, and I haven't knocked the camera out. I haven't knocked the camera out yet.
It's wonderful.
It in there.
Now, did you ever get a replacement motor for yours just in case, or a prop?
These things, I still got the original props. I still got the original motors. This thing probably has 150, 200 flights on it, and all I did was I stuck the antenna out of the top there, and but I left the antenna inside, and it works great. I'll tell you every once in a while when I plug it in, I get RSSI is non-existent. Something doesn't wind up right, and I'll go to fly.
Just flown and it drops.
Yeah, it'll fail safe. Yeah. So then
but it's close to you and it drops for no reason.
For some reason, sometimes when you first power it up, it doesn't bind up correctly. So you unplug it when it does that. So now I made a habit of looking at the RSSI value. And if I don't see like 85, 90, 95 right off the bat, I'll unplug it back in again. Yeah.
I tell you what, I have a lot of fun with this guy. And I showed you the other one. I cut the prop guards off one, and it's even zippier. Let me show. I think I showed you, but I'll show everybody else.
This is turning into a show and tell.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Yeah.
Look, this is the same one without prop guards.
Well, that
And
looks
it's so
pretty cool.
zippy. It's the same thing. Just cut the prop guards off at the bottom. I had
Jerome
so
Knight
much fun
says,
with this thing.
my chair is green.
Yeah.
Well, that's yeah. I don't know if you look at if I stand up here and move over, and you see my chair, my hand is on the chair here, and if I lift the green fabric up, you'll see the chair. See, but the green screen. The chair goes all the way up to here. That's the top of the chair. I'm banging on it. See, so by having the chair, having the green screen fabric over the chair, it cuts away with all of this chair sticking up behind my head and shows the background through.
Art likes those little dolls. I'm starting to wonder about him.
I'll trump you, my doll.
Okay.
What do you think, Art?
Oh, and another one.
Oh, you got 4 dolls. Wait a minute. Hold on. Got Walter.
And, oh, there you
No,
go. Walter.
That's Mitch Jr. That's not Walter.
That's Walter.
And there's my injured Ken.
I'm sorry. All I got is Walter and Donald.
His head's taped on.
Yeah.
I got these from the gals at work. So one of these is mine. And so,
Ken dolls.
so
This is a garden gnome. I don't know if you know that. It's designed to sit out in your garden, and it says
Make your grass green again.
make your garden great again.
Yeah. MAGA.
I'm gonna give one of these to Chris Rollins and have him put it on a rocket. Say Ken goes into space.
Oh, Roosevelt. No, I can't make it. I had thought I might want to go to Spin Up, but I don't think I am. I'm just going to have to come to Arkansas, I guess, and meet you.
There you go. Oh, another idea I have for Chris Rollins: get one of those weather balloons and put this on there with the camera looking at it and say, Ken goes to the regions of space.
Oh, geez. I think this is getting a little weird here now. I mean,
I think art is a little weird, but I enjoy it.
But Mitch gives me the appropriate music when I come.
Yes. How art thou? That's great stuff. I
like that.
You know what I do whenever I need music for something, I just go in and I have a whole file folders full of music that I've downloaded over time. That's all Creative Commons stuff. That's no licensing. I can use it for anything.
What happened to the one that you started your videos in the past? Like acapella?
I always use that when I make a video.
Oh, okay. It had sounds, but it was all voices.
Yeah, acapella. Yeah, I always start my videos with that, and I use this. I used that on a video many moons ago. I found that song. It's a good song.
I
have this is kind of my my theme that I use for my.
I like that too. Bluesy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my theme that I use for the live stream. But what I'll do is I'll play the video I want to put the music behind, and then I'll just start and I'll take a VLC and I'll just capture a whole bunch of files and say play all of these, and then I'll just fast forward until I find some music that just looks good. Like I did one video, and this song here just was perfect for it. Okay, it's just perfect. was out flying over up and down the beach fishing video.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that this worked great. There's another. I did a video, very whimsical type scenery, and this music was perfect for it.
Mitch, I don't know, was Exploration Obsession here before? But I saw that he joined our your chat rather.
Oh yeah, he's here now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
He was here before. I don't know if he was here. Hello.
I keep saying one of these days I'm going to try to make a video shows how I pick music for my, and that never got made either. I just, there's all these videos that I keep saying I'm going to make, and I never.
Put it on a piece of paper in front of you so you remember. That sounds like Sesame Street.
What I'm saying is you can create, this is what they do in Hollywood. You can create with music any kind of mood or feeling that you want. How about this one? I mean, these are music,
yeah.
These are pieces of music that immediately bring images to mind. You can picture. I've used most of these in some of my videos. But then this was my art music.
Oh, the chant. Hey, wait, that music is license free? No issues?
All of this stuff that I have here is I have some sites that have just tons of great music. It's all Creative Commons stuff.
Actually, I want to answer to a grumpy vlogger. He forgets like 5 minutes after he thinks about it. He says us old guys have a short attention span, so we have great ideas.
Never forget it.
Done by the next day. He forgets them in 10 minutes.
It's
done
true.
He does it on art show every now and then.
Yeah.
Never mind. I tell him, get a piece of paper and pencil every time you do a show. This way you don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen him in action, right, Art?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
This is nice. I like this. That'd be good for a ripping FPV, wouldn't it? I mean, just rip trees and everything. Yeah, that'd be great for that. What's this one here?
You see, that's what when you do those shows inside your apartment or your house there, right? That sounds like that kind of music.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mitch's place.
Yeah, exactly.
Here on K95. Mellow music for mellow old people.
That's too funny.
Loser. I think that music's too loud in the background. That's hard for me to tell. Is that music too loud in the background there?
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah, I like music. Hey, it's 5 to 8 already. Jeez.
Yeah, wow.
You started early, didn't you?
No, I actually started the live. I usually start these live streams about 10 minutes before
okay.
time with a countdown clock.
Right.
And
Gotcha.
one of the reasons that I do that is sometimes when I fire up a live stream, I get a bad stream strength for a few minutes until it decides that it likes what I'm doing. And I want to make sure that if I have a bad connection or if it's not catching on, I want to have time to shut it down and restart it again. Mm-hmm. But I don't like to when you set these things up in advance. I don't know if you ever noticed some of these guys, they set them up, everybody gets in the chat room waiting, and then the time comes along and they don't show up. Spike is good for this. It's not his fault. It's just the way it happens. And then you're sitting there waiting, only to find out he's fired up another live stream with a different chat. And then everybody's got to move over because the first live stream didn't work. So I'm
Right.
very careful about it. And what I do is in StreamYards, I create a broadcast scheduled for the future. When you do that, it creates, if you go into your creator studio and look at your live events, you'll see that the actual live stream that you've created exists.
Mhm.
And all you can make changes, edit it, do anything you want, change your thumbnail. But
I like that you guys do all the hard work and I just get to join you.
yeah, then I started early just to make sure that
Right.
that live stream is working. And
Yep.
from that point on, I'm in charge of it, not YouTube. The countdown is coming from me. I've got the clock program here that throws the numbers up on the screen. Anytime during the countdown, I'm generally sitting here ready to go. And if somebody types in the chat, I'll answer.
Respond.
But if you notice, it gets right to the second. Then I try very hard at that point to I'll stop it, Art.
Be on time.
He's telling me that right now Ken Herron is
All right,
probably
are you a part-time comedian, Art?
No, I haven't done it in a little over 10 years.
Yeah.
I think you should maybe come back because you're a character.
the first time I saw you, Art, I looked and I said, "Is he for real?" I mean,
People say that to me all the time.
but
You kidding me?
I'm glad I got to know you because
Well, thank you.
I just enjoy knowing you.
I this
He's fun.
the drone community is so much fun. I'm just having a blast, and I'm meeting all you guys, and I'm going to spin up and can't wait.
I tell my wife that all the time, that this whole YouTube thing has been fascinating because I mean, I can be on a stream with somebody in Australia, the Netherlands, in the States, and you meet all kinds of characters, Germany, all at the same time. And I've met even a few friends, and I Skype with them. I even get to see like live pictures or live views of other countries. I don't need to, go to the news and things like that. It's just it's fascinating.
No, it really is. We get on with Spike. He's clear on the other side of the world. If you're sitting where you're sitting and look straight down at the floor, you're probably looking pretty close to straight at Spike. Straight through the planet on the other side when you stop to think about it.
They had something like that in the city, I believe, like a tunnel where you could look in a screen and you were looking all the way into another country, but I just don't remember the other side, what it was. Very similar. But it was, like large, a 6-foot screen. It's pretty cool. People were able to talk real time to each other from different parts of the world.
Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. And thanks for coming in, the two of you. I always enjoy having you. You always got to
late, but
thanks for having me, Mitch.
anytime.
Always a blast.
It is, and we cover a lot of subjects. And tomorrow, don't be surprised this weekend if I spend a lot of time live on YouTube. It's going to be raining like hell here.
I was going to say, you can do an impromptu every now and then.
I'm going to have this. Well, I want to do these impromptus on the technical side. For example, I have some flight controllers I'm going to upgrade to the newest version of Betaflight. Okay, I can do that kind of stuff on a live stream and show everybody and walk people through exactly how I do it, load the firmware, remove the settings from the old version to the new version, test it, do all that stuff, build drones, build this DJI FPV. I'm going to be converting one of mine over to that. I ordered a frame today that's designed by GEP-RC, designed right for the DJI stuff. It's a 5-inch frame. It's got everything.
The iFlight ones they're selling, right?
Yeah, they're iFlight's got one, and GEP-RC. I like the looks of the GEP-RC better.
Gotcha.
So what I'm going to start doing, I think, is while I'm sitting here in the workshop, that's my studio. My workbench is right here. You've seen the bench over here with all the stuff on it.
Well,
right there.
I gotta leave, guys. Take care.
Okay, buddy. Take it
care.
easy. Don't worry. Ken will be there when you get there. All right, Art. Take care. Man.
Maybe you had to go to the bathroom.
I know where I stand compared to Ken Heron.
Might have been a bathroom break in an emergency.
Okay. Anyway, I'm thinking that we can all, anybody that's around with nothing to do can come in, join me in the chat in the panel, and have a little live stream and talk about and do some work.
Yeah.
And do some work. And I've got the this camera here that looks down at my build table. I've got the this camera that looks at it from the side. I can, show any of the screens from beta flight and all the stuff that I'm doing with the drone at the same time. So I think I'm going to do that. And I think that this FPV DJI stuff is going to be a good way to do that. So with that, we'll wrap it up for today. Everybody, go light up a cigar, go outside on my screen porch, turn on Ken Heron,
Puff away and have fun.
Puff away. Take the rest.
What's the heat factor in Florida these days? High 80s, mid 80s?
No, 90s. It's been 90s.
90s?
Let me say,
God.
yeah, it's not bad.
Let me say goodbye.
let me just say goodbye before all these guys go out of here. Mars, thanks for coming in. Rick, thank you. Seeing Ken Herons.
Take care, Rick Halber.
Rick Halber, Grumpy Vlogger, Exploration Obsession. Thanks for coming by. Roosevelt, always a pleasure. Mars, fly natural, Grumpy Exploration. That's about it. The rest of them are gone. Although it still says I still got 11 people in here. So
yeah, there's 11 there.
Yeah,
got to give you the 15th thumbs up, at least on my end.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So, with that,
right,
I'll see you guys. I'll be doing
soon, and if you do, I have your bell rung. So if you do a live stream, I'll be notified.
All right, great. At any time, always like having you, Carlos.
All right, Mitch. Have a good evening.
Buddy.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care. And that's about going to wrap it up for me tonight. So I don't know where that 2 hours went, but it went. It always does. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for coming in. Hope you enjoyed our little chat, bouncing around from one subject to another. And with that, I will say, like I always do, take the rest of the day off. Go play with your drones and have a good evening. See you over at Ken Heron's, and now we'll let Spank say goodnight.